Hey, Bud Royce here from BRL Guitar Works up here in Toronto, Canada. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning right now, and I just finished with this guitar, working on this guitar for Pat Wurst over at CaparisonForum.com. He bought this guitar used off someone in the forum there and had it shipped in from the U.S. to have it worked on. Basically, they have the premium package done, as most people do, but also to actually have it completely fixed up and everything, because this was originally in a pretty beat up state. For the information of everyone else, and maybe just for your reference, Pat, this guitar is not an original guitar. It's not really even a true custom. What it really is, it's actually an amalgamation of 2 guitars. What the original owner ended up doing was actually, he probably had a Horus Snow Cloud and a Horus HGS MF07, and basically took the neck off one and put it on the other. You can tell this is the byproduct of the 2, because you have, from at first glance this may look like a regular Horus. I mean, it's got all the standard Horus features and all that, regular Horus neck there, but you can tell this is not, because this is actually a walnut body. And the walnut body is only offered on the HGS models, and it's not the standard HGS, because the volume switch is right where the standard Horus is, and that was a feature that was only found on the limited edition model. But the only thing is, the neck on the limited edition model was a maple board. So the original owner took the maple board off this guitar, put the neck from the Horus Snow Cloud onto this one. So you basically have a Horus Snow Cloud neck on a Horus HGS limited MF07 body. It looks great though. I actually, believe it or not, I actually really like how this guitar looks. I mean, it's got this very nice look with the rosewood fretboard and the walnut body. Tonally, it's actually very balanced sounding, because the walnut's actually a very bright sounding wood, and the rosewood mellows it out a little, so it's not so overkill bright. Basically, here, Pat, if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure you are, or will be. This is what we did with your guitar here. So originally, when you set the guitar in, the bridge pickup here was pretty short. It was just basically hanging in there with a single screw. So we put it in a new set of screws on there, direct mounted them, and also reinforced the bottom of this pickup so it's not so flimsy. So it's not so springy there. The neck pickup, we really didn't have to do anything much with it. The only thing what I ended up doing is, because the EMGs don't have the lip on there, and you have that big exposed gap, you could totally see the wires. So what I ended up doing was I ended up masking the wires on the inside so you couldn't see them. Other things with electronics, originally the pot that came on the name of this guitar when it was shipped in, it had a 25K push-pull switch for a set of EMGs, but it was bent and broken, and so you couldn't really pull on it and you couldn't really turn on it. So what I ended up doing is I at first replaced it with another 25K pot from EMG, and that worked out fine and dandy. But when I was testing your guitar during the final setup and all that, it just felt a little strange to actually have to pull up on the pot. So I ended up one-upping your expectations and decided to find an original 500K push pot from Caparison. So this is now a push pot, but what we ended up doing was, because EMGs normally don't really work with 500K pots. If they do, but they end up sounding really, really bright, and the taper is totally screwed up. So what we ended up doing is we actually ended up modding the pot itself. So it's a 500K pot, but it's actually got a 25K load. So this way it sounds right, and you have the right taper, and you have the awesome ability of being able to switch pickups by pushing down on the switch. So this way you have the switch down, you run the bridge pickup, you want to run into a lead, and you want to use the neck pickup, hit the switch. There you go. You want to go back to your rhythm tones, push it again. Once it's on the down position, you're back to the bridge pickup. Sounds great. Another thing was the neck on this one here, and this is one of the reasons why Caparison does not sell replacement necks at all, and it's because the original neck originally this neck here, when it was installed on this guitar, was actually a little too low. The Horus neck here is actually a hairline narrower and just maybe a hair lower. And what happened there was, in order to get the low action, you actually had to lower the trem quite a bit, and then basically the it's kind of hard to see it from underneath, but you might be able to see some of the holes underneath, some little divot holes underneath the trem there. And what happened was that the intonation screws were basically digging into your wood when you were using it. So that wasn't very cool, because if you used it, you would hear this kind of grinding kind of sound, where we just continue to sort of digging deeper into the wood. By what we ended up doing, we ended up shimming the neck here, just to give it a bit of a boost, and also raise the trem a bit. So this way you still have full trem action, never have to worry about your trem digging into your guitar body there. Because the neck itself is actually just a hair narrower, there's actually a very small gap over here, but it's not very noticeable, really. It's about the same kind of gap you would find on any kind of typical production model, bolt-on Ibanez, bolt-on Jackson or something. It's not bad. Typically on most Caparisons, when they come out of the factory, the neck pockets are actually very, very tight. On this one here, there's a little bit of play, but nothing major. Doesn't really affect the tone all that much. Other thing to note, originally you had some buzzing over here, even with a dead straight fretboard. Which it is, you had some serious buzz around the 12th fret, and what happened was the 12th fret itself was sunken in for some strange reason. It was a lot lower than the rest, so we actually had to completely level everything off and redo the radiusing and everything again. So you actually have a 14-inch radius from the 12 to the from the 1st to the 12, and I think a 17 or an 18 from here onwards. I can't remember. It's close enough. But yeah, it's completely fret leveled for you, and so it's actually plays really nicely now. We actually have your action low as I think 1.5 millimeters, which is pretty much my what I aim for as a baseline. So yeah, you'll like the way this thing plays. Other thing to note: originally this guitar it played really stiff at the 1st fret. Even after fret leveling in the guitar and everything, and getting the action as low as possible, trying to fret the first couple of frets, it felt really stiff, and it's only because the nut on this one was a bit higher. So what we ended up doing was we actually took the nut off, and we ground the bottom of the nuts just to lower it a bit, because on a guitar like this, you can't really slot in the nuts a little bit further to adjust the individual heights of the strings. All you can really do is either grind away on the bottom of the nut, or take away some of the wood underneath the nut. Taking away the wood would have not been the greatest idea. So yeah, that was a little bit of extra work we did end up doing here, just to go the extra mile for you, because if you're gonna send a guitar in all the way from where it came from, you pretty much want it to be done as best as possible. Just another quick thing here: premium package fully done on the arming adjuster brass block and everything. You have your rounded fret ends very nicely. The fretboard edge is rolled over, and you have the edge scalloping on this one. This guitar plays phenomenally. I really like the way this one plays. I don't know what it is. Every single time I do one, it always seems like I get better at it, or it's just I get too attached to every single one I do. But yeah, if this up when you're playing up here, it's pretty much effortless. You don't really feel the edges, so it just feels like a very worn-in old glove. Back of the neck, we ended up doing the velvet neck mod on here. This is definitely one of the smoothest necks you'll probably ever play on. I mean, just really think about the smoothest, silkiest set of legs you've ever felt or could ever dream of, and well, this is just about as good. Yeah, I should stop. Well, there is the rest of the hardware upgrades. You get the brass block, nicely engraved on the side there. Arming adjuster for the boost and tone. Basically, the brass block here gives you a big boost on your low mids, and the arming adjuster basically improves the trem stability, but at the same time also makes everything very. It's like having a set of EQs and cranking them up to 11 or 12. Also put a brand new brass trem claw on there just because. About it, if you notice, your guitar actually looks very nice. It's nice and shiny. Got a nice glow onto it because it was kind of dull when it came in. But yeah, and that's about it. This video has been running for almost a good 10 minutes now, so I might also stop before YouTube cuts me off. So anyways, this is Bud Royce from BRL Guitar Works, and if you have any questions, shoot me an email at info@brlguitars.com. Thank you. Bye-bye.